all kinds of alarms went off. But I told him just exactly the way I just told y'all and everything. And the more I would say, the madder Decker would get, and the madder he would get. His face, by the time I finished talking, was crimson. And when I got through talking, he says, son, he said, you did right by taking Hoss home. He said, you were right. He says, now Hoss, I'm going to tell you something. He says, any of these son of bitches run at you with something like that again, he said, you tell them to see your damned agent. Kid looked at him and he says, well, sir, he says, who's my agent? Decker thumped himself on the chest. He says, me. And you ain't doing nothing for nothing no more.
That's cool.
And they even took and they tried back channeling on that thing. The building engineer from over to North Park Inn called and wanted to talk to our building engineer. And I said, well, I'm him. Hold on just a second. They got me on the switchboard right now. And I went back on and told him, I said, yeah, what can I do for you? I don't remember what his name was, but he said, I'm a building engineer over here at North Park Inn where they're staying, and they're trying to get some background information and such. He said, chance that we could make some money here. He said, they're wanting to pay me for whatever information I can come up with, and I'll split it with you down the middle. I told him, I said, well, I said, let me tell you something. I said, Mr. Beatty and them, they know how to get hold of Mr. Hinton. The first thing he asked me was, has Mr. Hinton ever told you anything about Clyde and Bonnie? And I said, yeah, he's told me the whole story.
Yeah.
And that was when he led into the, okay, possibility of making some money. And I told him, I said, well, I said, you tell them that you did get hold of the building engineer and said that, and that they know how to get hold of Mr. Hinton straight on. I said, oh, incidentally, you can tell them that the building engineer's name over here at the Motor Lodge is Hinton also. Click.
Well, did you see that picture? Did I get to show you that picture I found of the Howard Johnson and the gas station?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But I thought it was real cute. He was letting me talk and everything, and as soon as I said that the building engineer's name is Hinton, click.
He probably figured it out later who you were.
But you know, to back channel like that, after what they did, and Ted was ready, the thing was, is Ted was ready to help him.
Yeah.
And boy, I thought Decker was going to have a dead stroke or a heart attack, because he did. The more I'd say, the redder he'd get, and he was crimson as a dadgum beet when I got through talking.
Now that was before, all that was before the movie came out, though, when they were just getting rolling on it, like
they hadn't even
done anything. Huh?
They were shooting.
They were shooting some? Okay.
They hadn't even finished it.
So that must have been like 66, 67 and stuff?
67, 68, somewhere along in there.
Ah, that was just 30-something years after Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah.
I mean, I think back 30 years ago, it was like when you were born, you know.
But you know,
boy, time just goes by.
It's
so
ridiculous. I think Billy put it better than anyone has ever put it. And this was back when Fox was getting ready to do their thing, and they wanted to get hold of her. And I told him, I said, okay, I'll get in touch with her and see what she says. Got in touch with her. She says, little Ted, she said, they ought to leave those kids alone. They're long gone, dead and buried. They ought to let them rest in peace. And snapped her fingers, and she said, but they're not going to, because it's a love story. And when I told her about the dead young thing and such as that, she says, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quit participating. She says, you just tell them that. She says, and anyone else that comes up, she says, you tell them that also, that I'm not participating anymore. And then call me and tell me who it was so I'll know what's going on. And I did that up until the time she died. And
but do you think that at that time Bonnie and Clyde was a bigger legend, or now they're a bigger legend? I mean, their legend has really grown, like compared to '67 or say, you know, like when they were making that movie.
Well, when they were making the damn movie, it was.
I mean, Bonnie and Clyde weren't forgotten about, but they were kind of.
It was just a rattle in the camp.
You know, with World War II and then the '50s and stuff.
Yeah, it was just a rattle in the camp. It, you know, was nothing big or anything. And down here and everything, people didn't talk about it.
Right.
Some would if you hemmed them up about it, but people didn't talk about it. It wasn't any big deal for discussion.
I bet it was like her grandmother, Dulcie.
Yeah.
She wasn't having no part. She didn't want to sit and talk about that. She'd talk about anything. She'd sit there and play piano for you, cook, everything. You brought up, she'd look at you like, I don't know what. Like, what are you talking about? You know,
My mom.
why are you wasting my time on earth talking about those people? You know, it was.
My mom did not even know this museum existed. Did not know that the marker existed until we met you that day. She had no idea, because that was just, you know.
Well,
bad stuff.
see, Beatty comes along, and Beatty, I date things. And I date things, I use 1968 as the benchmark.
Right.
Somebody comes at me with Clyde and Bonnie, that makes them pre-68. If they come at me
I've got to where I've been saying that a lot
if
lately.
they come at
I
me
do.
with Bonnie and Clyde,
Yeah.
that makes them post-68.
Yeah, because if you read most of the things, you know, it usually calls them Clyde and Bonnie, or uses their full names, Clyde Barrow and his gun moll, Bonnie, you know, it's usually worded like that, you know, or the Barrow Gang.
And if you look at the newspapers and such as that, it was Clyde Barrow and Bonnie Parker involved in shootout with police in Joplin and
Yeah.
such as that.
I bought a 1946 little booklet. It's called The Blood-Soaked Career of Bonnie Parker. You ever heard of that one? Yeah, boy, it makes Bonnie out to be like the worst thing ever. But it was written in '46, so it was kind of interesting. You know, if you read between the lines, I mean, I knew it was by the title. I knew, you know, it was just a little booklet, but it only cost $10. And oh, you know what else I got? Have you ever heard of it's like a little naughty comic book called Amputated? Yeah, it's what they call a Tijuana Bible.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay, you never, yeah.
I've never
Did you know there was one about Bonnie?
You said there's a bunch of them, though.
Yeah, they got a whole bunch of them, Tijuana Bibles. They were little comics that were made like,
I know.
Yeah.
I know what they were and everything.
they were sold like underground and stuff, yeah.
But
Yeah, there's one on Bonnie Parker. I got it for like $15. I see them on the internet for like 80, 100, 120 bucks. So
well, you see,
it's nasty, let me tell you. I don't need to describe it, but it is, it's awful.
putting the killing of that second officer on Bonnie up there at the grapevine. Okay. They used old man Schieffer's deal. Now that old man's house was 3/4 of a mile across that valley. And yet he could hear.
Wow. He ought to be not doing that too here, man.
That boy normally comes around this corner right here and lays it down like that. And I have an agreement with the dadgum fire chief that he's going to alibi me, because one of these days that kid's gonna do that, and I'm just gonna reach down and catch his 380, and I'm gonna take the back tire out on that thing. And when I do, he's gonna TA in the dadgum fire station over there. And I'm gonna call the fire chief, and I'm gonna say, well, I did it. He says, no, don't do that. He says, there'd be too many forms to fill out. I said, he just had a blowout, that's all it was.
They'll put a sign by your telephone. This is where Boots called the sheriff. I mean the firehouse. When he blew the tire out. Did you lock the car? That?
No.
I'm gonna get my camera too.
I don't think I did.
No reason to.
That's that phone ringing.
Right,
We're not keeping you from nothing, huh? Oh, is it? Here, I can unlock it from here. I guess I just lock it out of habit.